Okay, and just give me just 1 second. Hey, everybody. Spidey Librarian here. How are you doing this evening? And I want to welcome you to the very first episode of the Spidey Librarian Action Hour. And as you can see, this is my very first live show. So there's a lot that I don't know how to do, but I am learning. And I want to go ahead and just make a quick promise to everyone who's here. If you stick with me, this show is going to get a little bit stronger with each subsequent broadcast. I spent the last week putting a whole bunch of stuff together. I didn't know what I was doing. And so you're gonna find that some of the segments here are going to be stronger than others, and things will probably get weaker as we get to the end of the show. I'm still learning, but I just want to say thank you for being here. So the point of the Spidey Librarian Action Hour is that it is a live show where I, a reference librarian and pop culture geek, and I aim to entertain and educate you with segments and tidbits from the world of technology, superheroes, video games, movies, and much more. I'd like to start the episode off with a profound thank you to those of you that are joining me live tonight for this first episode of the show. I really do appreciate the support. Just go ahead and make some noise in the chat for yourselves. You guys are awesome and you deserve it. So I want to say hello to some of the people that I have already seen in the chat. So hello to Matt Cave. Hello to, hey, there's Dr. Strange. And Wolf MCOC is also hanging out in the chat tonight. So excellent to see everyone here. And now we've got Hail to the Geeks here in the chat as well. And yes, so good to see everybody. Thanks again for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. And I hope you find this show to be entertaining and, in some places, educational. One of the best ways you can continue to show your support for what I do is to simply thwip on that like button and just, let me know that you're enjoying the content and that you would like to see more. You can also subscribe to the channel, so that way you'll know not only when the Spidey Librarian Action Hour goes live, but you can also see the other live streams and uploads that I add during the week. If you haven't already seen it, I have been posting a lot of Ghostbusters content to the channel lately because, a couple reasons. One, I love Ghostbusters, and then two, that content gets views right now, so it just makes sense to put it up there. So if you're already subscribed, thank you. You're awesome, and we all know it. Try to share the love, let your friends know, and see if you can get them to come on over and hang out with us as we explore pop culture and maybe get a little bit of education while we do it. I've got a good show for you tonight, starting with a segment that I'm calling DLC. It does not mean downloadable content. It means discover, learn, create, in which I do a deep dive on an educational topic. Tonight, I'll be showing you how to create a Google account. But stop, wait, don't go. I know that if you're here, you probably already know how to create a Google account. I get it. But for every person that knows how to make a Google account, there's probably at least one other person that either doesn't know how to do it or is going to need to know how to do it in the future. So I basically want to make this segment into a video later for those that need to know or will need to know how to do it in the future. So if you have any suggestions about further DLC topics, I've got a few up on the docket right now, but drop them in the chat, drop them in the comments, let me know what you guys would like to see, and I will definitely make the effort to look them over and see what we can do in the future for the DLC Discover, Learn, Create segment. After that, we'll go through the pop culture roundup, where I'll look into the top headlines of some of the areas I'm interested and well-versed in. it'll be things like movies, Spider-Man, Ghostbusters, Spider-Man, video games, Spider-Man, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Spider-Man, and oh, Star Wars, and of course, Spider-Man. Did I mention I like Spider-Man too? Anyways, I'm into a lot of fandoms, as some of you know, and some of you will definitely discover. And over time, we'll cover more than the dozen or so topics that I listed here. But we'll try to we'll try to take the biggest headlines from the most relevant topics in the last week or so. Hail to the Geek says Star Wars. I know where that's coming from. So, after we're done with the pop culture roundup, then we are going to move into the pop culture deep dive, which for this episode is going to be because of the Halloween season. We're like 2 days out from the best holiday of the year, in my personal opinion, of course, But I'm going to talk a little bit about scary, spooky horror media, basically. And we're going to feature a spooky book talk from a Spider-Man story that is one of the most disturbing I have ever read. It's called Edge of Spider-Verse, number 4. I Walked with a Spider. If you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, oh, God. Read it sometime if you don't want to sleep. Finally, we're going to end things with a segment that is entirely in the hands of you, the viewers. The viewer Q&A will involve you guys in chat asking me questions that I'll then attempt to give the reference librarian treatment and do my best to answer them on stream. They can be anything from a simple how-to question to personal questions to what is my opinion of or speculation on pop culture topic X or non-pop culture topic X. I mean, we're up for anything here. So if you got something you want me to reference or science or librarian or just whatever, just answer. Again, just drop them in the chat, and we can try to address them when we get to that segment. So just hit me with them in the final part of the show after we talk about the scary spider comic. So, with that said, we are going to get on with the very first segment. So let me just go ahead and before we do that, I do want to let you guys know I'm going to be turning on and off the record button at times because, again, I'll be cutting a lot of these segments up into smaller videos for the YouTube channel. So I might stop in the middle of a take and either redo it, or I might, stop and then like put a picture up and then talk about the thing, So things might be a little clunky from time to time, and for that I do apologize. But again, I'm gonna get better as we go, so hopefully things will get a little smoother. And if you guys are noticing any technical difficulties, please let me know about them so that I can try to fix them. And yeah, with that, we're gonna go ahead and get going. So, anyways, 1 second. All right. Okay. So, first segment, DLC, Discover, Learn, Create. Segment number 1. Google account creation. So, the way this segment works is, did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? There is a needy cat meowing at the door. I need to let her in. So expect to be interrupted occasionally by my cat, Trouble, who is very aptly named. Give me one moment. Hello, Miss Cat. How are you? Having fun interrupting? you only get up there when you want to go. No? Do you just want attention? Oh my gosh, she is a kitty, and I can never, ever, ever completely understand her. See, usually when she is up on that on that particular stand, that's her way of saying, "I'm by the door. I want to go out. Let me out." And she just came in here and got immediately on there, and I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about it. Trouble cares not that you are streaming. Is that correct, Trouble? You don't care if I'm streaming? Huh? You want to come over here? Come here, sweetie. Come on, you can come here. She's just gonna sit there and be like, yeah, I don't know. You're a human, I don't care. I'm okay, she's looking at me. I'm gonna let her out. Hold on, hold on. Sorry. This is live showbiz though. Do you want out? Oh my god, okay, alright. I got all that recorded, by the way. The first segment of the show I didn't record, which I probably should have done. Whatever. But yeah, we have an entire recorded episode now of Trouble that I could potentially just upload that. That could be its own video, you know. All right, okay. So here we go. So the way this segment works is that we're essentially making a video where I demonstrate how to do a thing, basically. In this case, it's going to be creating a Google account. The video itself is intended to be short and informative. However, I am really good at flubbing lines, tripping over my own tongue, and generally just screwing up the flow of a take. If any of you guys have been on any of my previous live streams, you know what I'm talking about. So I'll be doing the video in segments and possibly doing several takes if I just feel like it needs it. You're free to participate however you like. You can be supportive and say nice things. You can heckle me. I get plenty of that too. You can make suggestions. I am all about audience participation at this point. I know that you probably, you guys can't see your chats on the screen, but I have it to where I can see the chat and I can respond to it. So that's fine. But again, the goal is to have enough video to edit down to a shorter, more impactful segment that will later go up on the channel as its own standalone video. All right. These are the things that happen when we go live. You are absolutely right, Matt Cave. It's just, and especially if you have pets, if you have kids. I never had kids, so but a pet kind of is like a little kid. Because they want attention all the time, so, Did I adjust lighting? It looks darker than normal. Nothing has been adjusted, although I did probably turn off the auto lighting adjustment that the camera was doing. Because it was, it was changing. Oh, excuse me. Oh, great. I've got hiccups now. It was changing the color palette out a lot, and I don't think that was something that I was really enjoying. So I've got it turned off for now. If things look a little darker, to me that just says that I probably need to make adjustments to my lighting, which is something I still need to learn a lot more about than I currently know. I also only have like one ring light, and then everything else is just lamps and stuff. So I've got multiple light sources coming from me, but they're not intended for filmmaking. So that's probably part of it. So all right. So we've got, let's see, we've got about 5 minutes of recorded footage in already. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And let me see, we're going to do this. You're going to see, at first, you're going to see me doing the intro and then probably the outro. I think the bulk of the video is going to be on a, basically on a window where I go through the account creation process and talk about it. So just so you guys know. Anyways, Let me just make sure that everything is good to go. Let me just try this real quick. Oh, right. I would just drop that. Okay, all right. I'm using Microsoft Edge because I never use it and because it has none of my Google information on it. So, that's cool. All right. Anyways, oh, hey, TD70 joining us in the chat. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you're having a good time. And yeah, just stick around. We're gonna make a video on creating a Google account. Here we go. Hey everybody, Spidey Librarian here, and today I'm going to show you how to create a Google account right now. And I'm going to do that again because I'm looking at a script. I'm sure you guys can see I'm looking at a script, and so I want to address the camera the entire time. So, all right, here we go. Hey everybody, Spidey Librarian here, and today I'm going to show you how to create a Google account right now. All right. How was that segment? Did that seem okay? I'm trying to keep my eyes on the camera, trying to keep it natural. You guys tell me. This is the time when you guys can truly get interactive with me and either let me know what I'm doing wrong, heckle me, support me, whatever. It's all good. So, all right. So let's see. I think what we're going to do now is we're going to move it over to we're going to go ahead and move it over here to Microsoft Edge, and we're going to just go ahead and continue talking about the next part. So the nice part here is I don't have to look at the camera. I can look at the script a little more fully, and then I can just kind of work on my vocal inflections, if you will. So, all right. So here we go. All right. A Google account is the key to getting access to a number of Google products and services, such as Gmail, the Google Play Store, Calendar, Photos, and of course, YouTube. All right. So, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do that one more time, but I think in the video itself, I'll probably show icons for each of the products as I name them. So just so you have an idea, we're not just staring at a Microsoft Edge screen for very long. So I'm going to do that one more time, and here we go. A Google account is the key to getting access to a number of Google products and services, such as Gmail, the Google Play Store, Calendar, Photos, and, of course, YouTube. Quick disclaimer, you don't need a Google account to watch YouTube, but you do need a YouTube account to like videos, create playlists, and generally customize YouTube to your preferences. You need a Google account. You need a Google account in order to create a YouTube account, and if you want one, a YouTube channel. All right. So let's see. So again, there will be other visuals going about there. Let's see what else. Okay. And all right, there's a call to action here that I put in. Hopefully, if you guys have any opinions on it, I would like to know. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. And hopefully I'm just going to put in some B-roll like from the live stream itself when I chop it up. So anyways, before we get started, this video is a segment from my weekly live show, the Spidey Librarian Action Hour. The segment, DLC, stands for Discover, Learn, Create, and features basic tech tutorials, topic deep dives, and some DIY crafting videos. If you have a suggestion for a DLC topic, be sure to let me know in the comments section so I can help you get the answers you need. And back to it. All right. And again, that will be something else. Actually, and one thing I am going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring the webcam back up, and I'm also going to just read it while I'm addressing the camera, or trying to, at least. So let's try it one more time. Before we get started, this video is a segment from my weekly live show, the Spidey Librarian Action Hour. The segment, DLC, stands for Discover, Learn, Create, and features basic tech tutorials, topic deep dives, and features that and some DIY crafting videos. If you have a If you have a suggestion for a DLC topic, be sure to let me know in the comments section so I can help you get the answers you need. I'm going to try that last sentence one more time. If you have a suggestion for a DLC topic, be sure to let me know in the comments section so I can help you get the answer you need. And back to it. All right, and here we go. Oops. Sorry, still learning these. All right. Actually, hold on. Bringing this back up for the next 3 sentences, I think. Here we go. Fortunately, setting up a Google account is easy. 3 simple words. Create Google account. And there's trouble. Hold on, she wants to be let back in. Hold on. Come on, Miss Kitty. How you doing? All right. Just know that meowing could occur at any minute now. Like right there. Sweetie, how are you? All right. Okay, all right. Okay, so on a desktop or laptop computer, actually, hold on. Try that again. On a desktop or laptop computer, simply do a search for Create Google Account and click the link that says Create Your Google Account. There we go. And I'm using Bing because I don't want to be accused of bias using Google to search for Google products. So, but we're going to go to Create Google Account. All right. So, and again, I'll be doing several takes of these things. So here we go. Actually, quick question. Can you guys hear the keyboard as I'm typing? That is definitely something I'm curious to know about. It doesn't matter too much because the magic of editing, I can probably make it so it's not too big a deal. But it's something that I definitely want to be aware of as we're going. Okay, Hail to the Geeks is asking me to type something, so here we go. All right, anyways. All right, you can hear the keyboard a little bit? Okay, all right. That's probably not too big a deal. So what I'll probably do is start separating the audio from the video and just putting different segments with it. So, all right, anyways. I'm gonna restart again, and we'll just go through it. On a desktop computer, on a desktop or laptop computer, simply do a search for Create Google Account and click the link that says Create Your Google Account. It should be the first link in the results list. Yeah, that's the experience? Okay, well, that's good to know as well. All right. My apologies. I'm getting notices on my phone, which is what I'm using for the script right now. So, okay. Alternatively, you can also type accounts.google.com/signup into your browser's address bar. If you go to the Google Accounts homepage, you will be asked to choose to create an account for either yourself, your child, or to manage your business. Click the appropriate option. In this case, the For Myself option, and then click Next. The account creation page requires 4 pieces of information. your first name, a last name, a user ID, and a password. And as you can see, sometimes you can't get the username that you type in. That means someone else has already claimed it. So what you can do is you can choose one of the choices that Google provides for you, or you can attempt to make up another name for yourself. This one is Samuel Space, and I meant to go with Samuel Spade. That is taken as well. Let's try Samuel Spade 8 instead of Spade Samuel. That one is taken as well. We can do Samuel Spade 92, so that's what we're going to do. The final piece of information you need to put in is a password, which Google requires you to confirm. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a password that it should accept. Now, Google will not let you put in weak passwords. They will try to correct you if you put in the word password or 12345, and they will make you choose a password that is at least 8 characters long and has a mix of letters and numbers. And if you put any of those letters or numbers in too familiar a configuration, it may still make you create a different password. So just keep that in mind if you're trying to create a password. All right. A user ID is a unique name you create in order to identify yourself to Google. You may find the user ID you wish to create is unavailable. This is because someone else has already claimed it. You'll have to either choose one of the alternate IDs provided or create another. Sorry, you'll have to choose either one of the user. You'll have to either choose one of the alternate IDs provided or create another user ID. Once you provide your first name, last name, username, and confirm your password, Google will bring you to a welcome page. This page will list the email address associated with your Google account. If it's a Gmail address, your account user ID will be the address prefix, the part before @gmail.com. Here, they will ask you for more information. A phone number, which is optional. A recovery email address, which is also optional, although recommended. Your birthday and your gender. You are required to fill out the birthday and gender fields, though Google will accept the information you provide regardless of what you enter. So for instance, if I want to give it my actual birthday, I can do that. So there you go. You guys know my birthday now. And for gender, again, you have options. You can say male, you can say female, you can do rather not say, and you can do custom. So whatever you end up going by, Google is attempting to give you options, and I think that's a good thing. Once you provide this information, I'll go ahead and just identify myself as male. Google will, Google will then take you to a privacy and terms page, which you must agree to in order for your account to be finalized. And then once you agree, congratulations, you've created your Google account. Google will be able to use this information to grant you access to other services like YouTube, the Google Play Store, and Google Drive. Make sure you have access to your user ID and password for future sessions. All right. And let's see. I'm going to take a moment and I'll probably just separate this, but I think I want to also just do a quick, this is basically a quick, hold on. Need to head out, looking forward to the full video. Okay, thanks, Matt Cave. Making a new account and not using the name Peter Parker. Oh, come on, man. I mean, there's actual Peter Parkers in the world, so, you know, I don't want to step on too many stuff. I'm sure there are Samuel Spades out there too, but Hopefully you know where I'm getting that from. All right. So I'm going to do a quick bit on password managers, just real quick, and just password security in general. And part of the reason I'm bringing this up is because it is just a thing that sometimes comes up in just kind of the day-to-day work that I do at the library, and that some of my coworkers do. So give me just a moment. This will probably be separated, and I might also record it as just me. So here we go. Be sure to write down, memorize, or put your password into a good password manager. Knowing your password is critical to keeping your account secure and protected. You can have your browser memorize your password, but that's not without risks. It's better to either write it down somewhere private where you can access it, memorize it, or, best bet, use a password manager like LastPass or Bitwarden. All right, and again, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to just bring up the webcam again. Hello. Okay, and I think what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do that little bit one more time. And I might cut between the two. I don't know. Because I want this to be in the video somewhere. So anyways, here we go. All right. Be sure to write down, memorize, or put your password into a good password manager. And I looked away during the last segment, and I'm going to try not to do that again during the last word. So here we go. Be sure to write down, memorize, or put your password into a password manager. I did it again. I did it again. I'm terrible at this. Okay. Be sure to write down, memorize, or put your password into a good password manager. All right. Knowing your password is essential to keeping your account secure and protected. Did I use the word critical? I don't remember. I'm going to do it again. Knowing your password is critical. And there goes my cat. Knowing your password is critical to keeping your account protected and secure. Okay. You can have your browser memorize your password, but that is not without risks. It's best, right. It's better to either memorize it, write it down, or, best bet, go with a good password manager like LastPass or Bitwarden. Okay, all right, and I can splice those together, so that's not a problem. Trouble walking by in the background. Okay, all right. Okay, and this is the conclusion of the segment, and then we can move on. Again, this is probably taking a little longer than I intended to. I'm sorry. I'll get better at this, and these will go faster. Like the videos that I want to record, I intend for them to be short, so. Trouble. Hold on, needy cat needs attention. Trouble. There, come on. Go outside. She gets into those boxes and starts just rustling around, and it's terrible. I don't want to record that, so. All right, okay. So anyways, we're on to the conclusion here, which is 2 paragraphs. So I'm going to take a look at it, and then I'm going to try to do it without looking back at the script. And here we go. All right. Okay. All right. Having a Google account is, there we go, backbone. That's the word. That's whatever. Okay. Having a Google account is the backbone for many useful services under the Google brand, and is a near necessity for Android phone users. With a Google account now in your back pocket, you'll have the means to take your first steps into a much larger digital world. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. Okay, I hope you found this video helpful and informative. If you did, one of the best ways to support me would be to just thwip on the like button. It shows me that you enjoy this kind of content and would like to see more of it. Okay, a couple more sentences. I'll be creating more educational and entertainment content. So if you like what I'm doing, consider subscribing. Yes, if you like what I'm doing, consider subscribing. Do that one more time. All right. I'll be creating more informational and entertainment content. So if... Sorry. I do this. I flub my lines a lot. I'll be creating more informational and entertainment content. So if you're enjoying what I'm doing, consider subscribing. Oh, and then this is the easiest line right here, and I'll probably screw it up. Thanks for watching, and have a good day. Right, and I'm going to go ahead and let's see. Where's that record button? Sorry. I'm used to recording on Streamlabs and not OBS, and I use OBS for YouTube, so I have to move between the two. They're related, they're very similar, but things are just different enough to where it's a bit weird. So anyways, let me go ahead and stop the recording, not the streaming. God, those buttons are right next to each other. Okay. All right, so there we go. And I think that wraps things up for the DLC segment. So let's get ready for the next segment, the Pop Culture Roundup. So 1 second, and we're going to... Oh, hold on. Script is being a little bit wonky. What's going on? Oh, I think I see the problem. Okay, all right. Sorry, guys. I'm going to make a quick adjustment here. It should only take a moment, but I was not aware of where the problem was. That shouldn't be too much of it. All right. Okay, all right, so we are going to move on to the next one, and I think, there we go. All right, everything looks better. Let me just go ahead and jump back over here. Okay, so I am going to re-engage the recording button. And some of you might ask, why are you just not recording the entire segment? It won't make too big a difference in the file size, but I like to have everything, like each segment, just kind of its own video, so that I can really just chop that one up and then be done with it. Otherwise, if I have to chop up segments of the whole thing for each different video, that just creates a whole nother problem with my video editing software that I just don't want to deal with. So, okay, all right. So we're going to go ahead and start. We're going to go ahead and start the pop culture roundup. So, yeah, and I think I'm going to try, because I did do some slight scripting here, but I think I can just tell this to you guys. So. Anyways, welcome to the Pop Culture Roundup, where I take the headlines from about the last week or so in areas that I am interested in and fairly well versed in, and just talk about the headlines that have had the most impact just kind of on me from a pop culture perspective over the last 7 days or so. And I say or so very emphatically for this segment, because this is the first show, and I think I probably gave myself about 9 or 10 days worth of headlines that I just kind of saved and talked about. So, now for each of these, I'm going to go ahead and put in a picture beforehand, and that might take a moment for each one. So I do apologize. I will try to be quick about this. Yeah, hold on. Like I've got them all in a folder, so I know where to direct the. Oh, okay, I already had one. So that's good. So give me 1 second, and we will go to the first item in a. So where is it? Properties. Folders. So apologies, guys. Again, I've been prepping for this, but there's so much to a live show to prep. I just didn't know what I was like. I didn't realize what I was in for, basically. Let's see. Let's go ahead and open that up, and I'm gonna go ahead and reposition this here. All right. Okay. All right. And so for the pop culture roundup, I always like to start with Spider-Man news because that's the best kind of news. I don't think J. Jonah Jameson would agree. But the big one is that the Empire magazines, which dropped today or yesterday, I can't remember which. Anyways, they have dropped, and there are two, and they are major teases for the villains that we may hopefully be seeing in Spider-Man No Way Home. As you can see on this cover, which looks fantastic. Oh my, that is such a good looking cover. I love the costume. I love the angle. But we can see at least two villain references immediately. We can see Dr. Octopus's arm right here, and then we can also see the Green Goblin's pumpkin bomb. You can also make the argument that we can see a flash of, is that electricity? It looks more like it could be Doctor Strange's little magic sling ring spell effects that he has. But, you know, we don't know for certain. Anyways, so we got a couple of teases right there, but there are two covers. And I'm going to go ahead and change out the image, so give me 1 second. Wow. Okay, I'm going to have to adjust each of these pictures. Hold on. Thank you guys for hanging out and hanging in there with me while I do this stuff. And that second picture just has even more teases on it. What we can see in this picture, we can see Doc Ock's arms all over the place, okay? That just kind of goes without saying. Unfortunately, you guys can't see my cursor, so... but in the lower, near the lower right-hand corner, we can see Doctor Strange's Eye of Agamotto, signifying his involvement in the movie, which we already know about. And then a little bit above that and to the right, we can see a fist that is very clearly made out of sand and is attached to a green and black kind of blob. Those are the popular colors that Sandman wore on his shirt in the comics and in Spider-Man 3. If we look to the Dr. Octopus arm segment that is in the upper right, just underneath where it says Empire, if you look slightly above it, we can see a clear bubble that looks like it could be the head of Mysterio, of his costume piece. So that's... I don't know if that means he's going to be in it. I just know that that is a very interesting piece of information. If you look in the lower left corner, you can see just above the Dr. Octopus arm a green background with a yellow lightning bolt in it, hinting at Electro's involvement, which Jamie Foxx we already know is confirmed for this, so not too big a surprise there. It's very small, but in the top right corner, you can see Toby Maguire waving. What? Okay, all right. This isn't going to be in the segment, but I am going to. What are you talking about? I don't believe you. Where? Where? Yeah, I think you're trolling, Wolf. Which is fine. That's okay. Let me see. I believe there is uh, near the lightning bolt piece. There is a Green Goblin pumpkin bomb right there, and then look at this. We've got. I see at least two spiders. Okay, we got two spiders. We got the Spider-Man in the middle, like all the Spider-Man faces right there. Which I mean, does that mean we're gonna see a bunch of Spider-Men in there? I don't know. I mean, it could. But the three we're all kind of excited about. Let's see, we got. Let's just assume this stands for one Spider-Man in the middle of the cover. Look off to the left, just above the Doctor Octopus mechanical arm. There's a Tom Holland Spider-Man insignia right there, and I would have thought that Tom Holland Spider-Man would have been represented by the middle image. But then there's another Spider-Man down near the bottom, just to the right of the Green Goblin's pumpkin bomb, and right to the left of the Eye of Agamotto. And there's another spider. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and I have not found a third spider. But if you guys see one, let me know where it is. Anyway, these images are really exciting, and yeah, do you think I'm pumped for the movie? Of course I'm pumped for it. There are a lot of other rumors and speculations that have come up in the last week, and I didn't report on those simply because we simply have no idea if they're true. I've heard things about when the next trailer is going to drop, that it's not going to drop until late November at the soonest. And then I've been seeing reports that it may drop in front of the Eternals movie, or the next or the next Morbius trailer, and we just don't know. So I didn't bother really doing much else. There's speculation about who the sixth villain is going to be, whether or not Charlie Cox is going to be in the movie as Matt Murdock. Um, Again, I've been seeing stories, but I'm just not going to report on them because we just don't know, and the sourcing right now is just not official enough for me to want to talk about it. Okay, and next up is going to be a piece from Star Wars. Star Wars. So give me a second to find that image. And I am so clever. I just numbered all of these. So, from the world of Star Wars, we found out that Hayden Christensen is going to be returning to Star Wars in the Disney Plus Ahsoka series. And right now, the speculation is just running rampant. Is he going to be a Force ghost? Is it going to be a flashback? ¿Por qué no los dos, huh? Why can't it be both? I mean, like, I'm excited. I know that Hayden Christensen got a lot of hate during the prequel trilogies, but I think with time and perspective and another trilogy that a lot of Star Wars fans have grown to despise, there is a certain amount of appreciation that I certainly now feel for Hayden Christensen. I saw that news piece and I was like, oh, he's coming back. It'll be good to see him again. So, looking forward to it. I think it'll be great. Whatever they decide to do with him, what do you guys think? Is he going to be there as a Force ghost? Do you think he's going to be there in a flashback? Let me know. All right. Next up, Marvel Cinematic Universe. Coming from the Marvel Cinematic Universe corner of the world, it looks like Marvel Studios is starting to make amends with at least some of their creators, like Ed Brubaker, pictured here. Ed Brubaker, actually, hold on. Ed Brubaker, I'm going to switch images real quick because I felt like we needed two for this one. Ed Brubaker, for those of you who don't already know, is the creator of the Winter Soldier. He may not have created the character of Bucky, who became the Winter Soldier, but it was Ed Brubaker who wrote the story that made the Winter Soldier a popular character. In the past, Brubaker has basically he hasn't been particularly vocal about how Marvel has treated its creators for things like this, but he also hasn't been tight-lipped about it either. When asked, he simply said during a report, "Well, I mean, I think I basically got, a thank you on the credits, and I got to go to the premiere of the movie Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and that was it." You would think for a writer who originated a character that has helped the MCU make so much money that Marvel might be a little more willing to be a little more generous to its creators. This is a problem that is not just limited to Marvel Studios. Disney as a whole has had issues with taking the works of creators, comic book writers, artists, novelists, and simply appropriating them and not giving any compensation to the people who have originated those works. And it seems that recently Brubaker has said that he has had discussions with Marvel about how they can make this right, and that is actually very heartening for me to hear. Full disclosure, I literally own one share of Disney stock, and I still get very angry when when I see a story about how they are stiffing writers of original works that they've acquired when they make those things into movies that generate them lots of profits. So seeing news like this, very heartening to me on a personal level. Also, I love Ed Brubaker, and whether or not I like these authors or anything is irrelevant. If you're gonna use someone else's creation for your work, did you guys hear trouble just now? Hold on a minute. Hello, welcome back. Is In and Out Kitty. Okay. All right. Star Wars fans just need to throw back their heads and howl at everything. I mean, it's a stress reliever. All right. Anyways, if you're gonna use a creator's work in another piece of in a in another format of media, then you should be compensating them, acknowledging the work, and making sure that uh, that they see the fruits of their labors a little bit more. And I say this to any big company that has a lot of control over many, many different properties, not just Disney. All right. But that is not all the MCU news that I saw this week. Okay. All right. Oh, wow. Hold on. They made that really short. Okay. All right. Anyone excited for the Ms. Marvel Disney Plus show is going to find that Kamala Khan's power set is vastly different from how it's been portrayed in the comics. One of the reasons that this is probably happening is because her power sets look pretty close to Mr. Fantastic's, And I know that Marvel is at least in the planning stages for a Fantastic Four movie. So it looks like, at least from this picture, Ms. Marvel's powers are going to look kind of similar, but it looks like it's more of something she creates, kind of like Green Lantern. So it's an interesting choice. It is certainly a bold choice. And reactions so far have been pretty divided. A lot of people are upset about it, which I don't blame them. And then others are like, well, you got the Mr. Fantastic coming, and, he was around first, and I don't know, man. I'm not trying to get in the middle of this. I'm just reporting this as news because I thought it was significant, and I'm kind of in the origin. I'm kind of in the former camp. I'm kind of like, why change her? You can have people with similar powers. Heck, the comics have got two Spider-Men in them. In Hawkeye, we're gonna have two Hawkeyes. God, I can't wait for that. So yeah, but yeah, Ms. Marvel's powers are gonna look different than they do from the comics, which is probably gonna be jarring to some viewers. All right, let's see. Baddest Noir says the hardcore Kamala Khan fans will be outraged. All three of them, dude. That is, I disagree with you. I think there's a lot of Kamala Khan fans out there. But to each his own. To each his own. All right, let me move on to the next one. And we've got. Oh, right. Okay, all right. So, speaking of potentially divisive topics, it. Let me go ahead and put the picture in before I start this again. All right. And speaking of potentially divisive topics, it looks like the Eternals movie may be one of the more divisive movies that the MCU has put out. Uh, Reviews are starting to come in, and some people are saying this is a beautiful movie and its scope is unprecedented, and these heroes are awesome and everything. And then a lot of people are saying, yes, but it's clunky. The pacing is weird. It misses the forest for the trees in terms of setting up a new universe at the expense of the story of the characters in the movie. So, it looks like it looks like it's going to be setting some records, but perhaps not the good kind for the MCU. I really am just kind of looking forward to this movie without knowing much about it. I have read like Neil Gaiman's take on the Eternals from a long time ago, from about 15 years ago, I think. But from what I understand, this movie is going to focus more on kind of Jack Kirby's influence on the Eternals, which I'm very eager to see. So I think this will be a movie that will be worth watching, if for no other reason than it's an MCU film and we have to know what happens next. But if that ends up being the only reason that people go to see it, it might not do so well at the box office. Time will tell, and a week from now, I'll be able to tell you what I think of the movie. Right, on to the next one. Okay, and this is the final piece of MCU news. So, I think you guys will like this one. All right. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Our final piece of MCU news over the last week involves Bill Murray. There were rumors going around that he had a part in Ant-Man 3. And it looks like Bill Murray has either confirmed this to a German media outlet or he trolled us all and lied to them outright. He is quoted as saying, I was in Ant-Man 3, and while I didn't seek out to do a Marvel movie as an actor, I happened to know the director. He was a good guy, so I did him a favor. Basically kind of saying, well, I've done a Marvel movie, although I didn't really want to. And, basically being Bill Murray. So it's going to be fun to see him in a Marvel movie. I've always enjoyed Bill Murray's comedy. I feel like my fairly sometimes dry sense of humor is a lot like his. And so, and of course, I love Ghostbusters, and he's gonna be in Ghostbusters after. Like, we all know this. He better be. Sony. All right. Okay, and we are going to move away from the MCU. And let's see. Okay, and we've got just a few more items, and then we'll be done with this segment. Right. Oh boy, these pictures are just all different sizes that I have. Really weird. All right. And speaking of Ghostbusters, we all know that Ghostbusters Afterlife is going to be out in about 3 weeks from now. I personally can't wait to see it, but aside from some new media, some TV spots dropping in the last week, there hasn't been very much news except for one interesting piece that I was kind of excited about and kind of aghast about. Hold on. So, as we all know, the Proton Pack is one of the many pieces of gear from the Ghostbusters franchise that is just much beloved by the fans. Many people have gone out of their way to create replicas that try to mimic the look, the sounds, and the feel of this piece of equipment as closely as possible. And a lot of cosplayers have made some pretty good headway. I've seen some very good Ghostbusters costumes and proton packs. But for the low, low price of $399, you can buy in to, I think it's called HasLabs. It's Hasbro Labs. They're making an official replica. So you can buy in and be a backer for an actual official Proton Pack replica. Anybody got $400 they want to just throw at this? I'm a big Ghostbusters fan myself, and it's not like I wouldn't consider it if I had that kind of disposable income to just kind of throw that way. But I'm not going to be one of those people sporting one of these. But one of the big questions about the Proton Pack that has actually never been revealed by the movies and will be revealed by Ghostbusters Afterlife is that you never actually see where the trigger is on the Proton Pack. And apparently, in Ghostbusters Afterlife, you will see it, and I would imagine that it would get integrated into this official. Alright, moving on from Ghostbusters. Although, let's be fair, guys. We can never truly move. Alright, let's see. Okay. So this is a fun one because Spider-Man is in this, but I don't consider it to be Spider-Man. So, figure that. Let me adjust this real quick. I'm going to bring it up. Alright. Okay. Right. So this next segment basically revolves around movies in general, and we're going to talk about Sony for a second because they have announced in 2023 they've got 2 slots for untitled Marvel movies. We don't know what they are. We don't know what they'll be. I've heard rumors, and I'm hoping that Into the Spider-Verse 2 is not one of these. Like, I would imagine when they slot that, they're going to give it a lot of fanfare. But it could be. I've heard talk about them developing a Spider-Woman movie. I've heard talk about Black Cat, Silk, Silver Sable. They might even go for broke and do a Sinister Six movie. We just don't know at this point. But what we do know is that 2023, Sony is doing at least 2 more Marvel movies. We and Morbius comes out in January, and I don't remember what the other ones are, but I think there's at least one other. I could be wrong about that. I don't know for certain. Anyways, what it'll be, nobody knows. Hopefully, we'll find out in the relatively near future. For that price, it better do something. I want to at least be able to vacuum with it. I understand why. I get it. I totally get it. Um, I mean, it's part of it is just you're paying for the officialness of it. I would imagine that it's going to make the sounds. You might even get some of like, it might feel a particular way. It might have a decent amount of heft. I don't know, but we don't know, and I'm certainly not going to find out anytime soon. So we're just going to do what we can with what we got. So, all right, we're almost done, guys. We're almost done with this segment. You forgot that Morbius was a thing? Yeah, I know a lot of people did. A lot of people did. And Morbius is technically a Spider-Man villain. He got his start in the Spider-Man comics. He was in Amazing Spider-Man number 101, which I do not own, but I do have Spider-Man. I do have Amazing Spider-Man number 100. But yeah, like, and he pops up every so often, and Spidey does not like him, so I don't blame him. All right, so let's see. All right, in the world of video games, I'm gonna do that again. In the world of video games, there was an announcement about a week ago, maybe a little bit more than a week ago, but I want to include this because I like this guy. Concerned Ape, the sole developer behind the game Stardew Valley, which is beloved by millions, announced that he is developing let's call it a spiritual successor for now, called Haunted Chocolatier. I've seen the intro video for it, and it looks just like Stardew Valley in terms of the graphics and everything. So a lot of people are going to want to play this game just for the aesthetic. The plot seems to revolve around a similar premise for Stardew Valley. Instead of inheriting a farm, though, you inherit a chocolate making place, and it's haunted. And you have ghosts as employees, and you have to go out and get ingredients to make chocolate. And I mean, the premise alone is very charming, and the gameplay for the Stardew Valley games has always been top notch for me. Stardew Valley is a game that I love to play when I just want to relax. You go, you farm, you farm your crops, you pick them up, you harvest them, you get paid for them, and then you rinse, wash, and repeat. And life is wonderful. You can raise pigs and all kinds of other farm animals, and so I'm really looking forward to Haunted Chocolatier and just seeing what you can do in this sequel to Stardew Valley. And yeah, I mean, to say I'm excited would be, a big understatement. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to hear when this game will be available. All right, guys, and we are down to the final news item here. So give me just a second. All right. Okay. The Nintendo Switch owners in the last week have known about the... Oh, what do we want to call this? I don't know if we want to call it a controversy, but I'm going to start again. Over the last week, Nintendo Switch owners have learned that Nintendo 64 games and Sega Genesis games are going to be coming to the Switch. However, there's a catch. You basically have to pay an extra $30 on top of the $20 per year price tag of Nintendo Online for the Premier tier. that will get you access to the Nintendo 64's library and the Sega Genesis's library, and I think a couple of others, although I could be wrong on that. Anyways, the the um, the upgrade has gone live and has been out for a couple of days, and initial reports indicate that there are some pretty serious lag issues on the Nintendo 64 games, particularly The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, which is a much which is a beloved title for Nintendo players as a whole. I'm not sure what to think of this. I do know that a lot of people were outraged about the price increase, and to be fair, I don't intend to purchase this upgrade until the price comes down a little bit. I think more than doubling the price of the existing service is not very smart. They could have made the original service $30 a year, and then release this for a price of $15 to $20, and it would go down a lot smoother, I feel, with the existing fan base. I've also seen reports recently, though, that those lag issues might not be as bad as you think, which means possibly when they were implementing everything, there were a few initial kinks to work out. Sometimes you get bugs with stuff like this. So I don't know if the experience is as bad as it has been made out to be. I do know that compounded with that price increase, which again is more than double the existing service, I understand people's outrage towards Nintendo. And I would like to say that Nintendo, as much as I love that company, they really kind of need to step back and reassess just how much they can get away with. Because if they continue down this path, I have a feeling that they're just going to be known for nostalgia at some point, and that alone is not going to sustain their ability to operate as a company. So, anyways, I'm not going to get this. Maybe I will if the price comes down, but it looks like the player experience might not be as bad as was initially reported. But in the meantime, I understand people's ire towards Nintendo over this issue. We're going to go ahead and take that away. All right. And that was the Pop Culture Roundup. Those were the titles and headlines that kind of jumped out at me during the last week or so. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if there are any pop culture issues that you think I should know about. And if you do find something, just drop it in the comments. If you're on my Discord, go ahead and drop it in there. And I will actually put an invite to the Discord in the live stream description whenever this after the live stream. So, and there we go, still flubbing lines. All right, okay, and we're gonna go ahead and stop the recording there. Okay, next segment is unscripted and is going to be a book talk. So hopefully this one will go really quickly. But give me just a second to prepare, and then we'll start the recording. Oh, man. Okay. All right. You guys ready for this? Ooh. Spooky Spider-Man story. I mean, seriously? That's a disturbing Spider-Man story. I'm going to show you some of the pictures. Now, I know that I've got the... Hold on. I know that I've got the camera mirrored, so all of the text is going to be backwards. I'm just going to apologize for that now. Whenever I tried to do it the way where you can see the text properly, everything is doing the opposite of what my actions are, and it's very disorienting to me. I'm going to have to get used to that at some point. I just haven't done that yet. So hopefully you guys won't be too, like, concentrate on the pictures. There will be some text where, you know, you're going to see the title and it's going to be like, oh, God. And I might take some screenshots and put those in so that people can see it properly. So I don't know. We shall see. All right. Okay. So this next segment is the pop culture deep dive, in which I talk about a segment of pop culture, a subject, a topic, and go a little bit into it. Now, I don't have any media for this, so there aren't going to be any pictures other than the comic book. But I might add some in post-production if I decide to take this section and make a video of it. So, we shall see. Anyways, this week's topic is scary / spooky / horror media. And I bring this up because it is the Halloween season. And I want I want to talk about the month of October in general. See, the month of October is very special to me. I like to kind of celebrate the Halloween season all month long. And the way that I do that is that I tend to I tend to watch more scary movies, or I will watch some scary TV shows. And doing it really just kind of sets the mood for, I mean, the season, if you will, the Halloween season. And I really do get a lot of enjoyment from watching this kind of content. Now, I watch a lot of it during the rest of the year as well, but October is special. During October, I'll also rewatch old movies that I hadn't seen in a while, documentaries. There's a great documentary on the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark series. And this month alone, I've watched 4 new horror movies. Oh God, and now I have to try to remember what they are. I have seen Underwater. I have seen The Descent. I've watched It Follows, and of course the last one I can never quite remember. Oh God. Hold on. I have a little notebook, and I'm gonna consult it real quick. And I don't know how I forget this one. And and I've also watched Mama, which, whoa, oh God, that was a good movie. It scared the bejesus out of me at a couple of points. So, but the thing is, with the holidays, we can. Oh, hold on a moment. Sorry, technical stuff. Okay, all right. YouTube is just weird. All right. Anyways, so there's a lot of media that I really kind of enjoy during the October, scare season, I guess you could call it. And in order to celebrate real quick, I would like to before I jump into the comic book book talk, I would like to just kind of take a second and show you guys that you can always get plenty of good recommendations for reading and things like that from your local library. And I want to go ahead and take a second to highlight, and this is gonna take me a moment, so. But I'd like to take a second to highlight, God. Oh, okay. My apologies. I would like to take a second to highlight my my coworker's work over at the Harris County Public Library. You see, that is where I work. And I wanted to just go ahead and let you guys see It's going to be a smaller window, so you might not be able to see it all. But a lot of my coworkers, they make displays kind of highlighting the scary books that we might have this month. And then some of them are also going to, they're going even further. And, oh, there. Okay. They're going even further and going to the library blog and basically talking about short story anthologies, novels, graphic novels, things that we have available in our collection, and that other people might not otherwise find. So we've got two different articles on the blog this month, including one that I thought was particularly creative, where my coworker Sarah actually took the show Channel Zero, which if you haven't seen that, go see it. If you like scary stuff, if you like creepy pastas, and what Sarah did is she basically put up the link to the season of Channel Zero that we have, and then she also put in a link to the creepypasta which that season on which it was originally based. And that was just a very kind of awesome move on her part. So but the point of all of this is, if you're looking for scary content, go to your local library, because your local librarians probably know a little bit more about it than you think. Anyways, if you guys have favorite things that you like to do during the Halloween season, you have a favorite you have a favorite show that you watch, or some favorite movies, tell me what they are. Let me know in the comments. Hell, tell me in the chat. I think that this is just kind of one of those special times of the year where it's important to share our spooky, creepy, weird little rituals that we like to do to celebrate the season. And with that said, we're going to talk a little bit about, and we're going to do spooky little book talk about a comic book, Spider-Man comic book. And it's one of the most disturbing Spider-Man stories I have ever read. This is Edge of Spider-Verse number 4, subtitled I Walked with a Spider. This book, when I read it, just creeped me out. And the writer, Clay McLeod Chapman, intended it that way. He basically took the Spider-Man story, like just the boy getting his powers, the Spider-Man origin story, and made it as creepy and scary and gritty and just made it as squeaky as you could make it, basically. And it makes for a very memorable Spider-Man story, and just a memorable kind of just freak you out story in its own right. The artwork and the colors in this story are remarkable. This is not just kind of regular 4-panel coloring. This looks pretty realistic and makes the scary parts pop a little bit more. And I just want to give my praise to artist Elia Bonetti and colorist Veronica Gandini. So I'd like to just go ahead and show you by introducing you to Patton Parnell. All right? And as the caption says there, I know you might have a hard time reading it, but seem familiar? Well, don't be too sure. Patton Parnell is... Peter Parker was an outcast, but Peter had redeeming qualities. Peter was You know, he was a nerd, but he was overall a decent person. He was a good guy. He was even charming in his own way. Patton Parnell is not like that. Patton Parnell lives with his uncle Ted, who it is very heavily emphasized physically abuses him and certainly emotionally abuses him. Patton likes to he likes to squish bugs and stick them under a magnifying glass. He has no respect for the sanctity of life. He does, however, have a crush on Sarah Jane, his next door neighbor. And that crush ends up getting him in trouble when Sarah Jane actually brings him to. They go on a field trip to a place called Alcor, and they separate together from the pack and try to free all the animals. And when that happens, Patton gets a bite from one of the spiders that he tries to free and ends up getting powers. But those powers come at a price. You can see that there is not only physical transformation, there is a hunger that drives Patton's spider yearnings and causes him to start dieting differently and also lashing out at the people around him, the animals around him, including the family cat. And eventually people go missing. And it's implied, well, no, it's not implied, it's shown that Patton is changing physically as a result of his powers. And let me just, there we go. There we go. There we go. So, and it looks like it's a transformation that he can control. Now, people start going missing, animals start going missing, and people start putting up missing posters for their pets. And Patton's hunger continues to drive his activities. He becomes more confident as a result, and Sarah Jane seems to notice. But near the climax of the story, Patton actually goes and bites her in a very bad way, and basically she runs away from him and sees that in the last few days Patton has amassed a veritable horror show of of food in his room. How does it end? I'm not going to tell you that, but let me tell you this. When what happened, I was surprised at how relieved I was that it happened. It's really, I can't say more without severely spoiling the ending, and so I'm not going to. But if you are looking for a squicktacular treat, I highly recommend Edge of Spider-Verse #4. You can find it in the Edge of Spider-Verse collection. It is available on Marvel Comics Unlimited, and you can probably find the trade paperback at your local library, or, failing that, your local comic shop. Check it out, especially if you want to see something very disturbing and very Spider-Man for Halloween. And that's the Pop Culture Deep Dive. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. I'm going to try that again. And that was the Pop Culture Deep Dive. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. There we go. All right, stopping the recording. Okay, guys, and we are at the final segment of the night. So it's right about 10 o'clock. This is a little bit longer than I intended to go, but hopefully this will get quicker as I get better at this. So thank you guys for sticking around. I do appreciate it. And well, let's go ahead and get started. So this final segment of the Spidey Librarian Action Hour is the viewer Q&A. It lasts as long as you guys want it to. It is up to you, and in it, you guys can start posing me questions, asking, you can ask me a reference question, you can ask me a personal question, you can ask me a question about pop culture. And sorry, I just had to silence my phone there because it was starting to play an alarm. So let me go ahead and just take that down. It shouldn't be too much of an issue anymore. So, in any case, before we get into it, I just want to go ahead and let you know a few things. The next episode of the Spidey Librarian Action Hour will not be next Friday. It will be next Saturday. And then I think episode 3 will be the next Sunday after that Saturday. And then I think the regular time slot for the Spidey Librarian Action Hour will be Sunday nights. Now, I haven't settled on a final time for it yet, but I think that will be the day that we can generally expect this show to air live. So if let me know what you think of that. Otherwise, I would also just like to say, again, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any suggestions, about how I can make this show better. I mean, I've got plenty that I'm working on, but if you think something especially needs work, let me know. Hit me up in the chat. Let me know in the comments. And in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and just open up the questions. Does anyone have any? I am, and again, this could be a very short segment. If no one has anything, that's all right. We'll build on this as we go. But in the meantime, I'm just going to wait and see if anyone in the chat has anything to say. I see that Yeez69 has shown up and just said hello. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? I hope all is well. I hope you're enjoying it. Or if you're not here anymore, I hope you enjoyed what you saw. And yeah, let's just open it up. Anyone want to ask me anything? Can be a reference question. Can be whatever you like. Let me know. Oh man, needed some water. I am not used to talking this much, so I mean, I do live streaming, but I mainly game, and so I do a lot of just playing the game, and then I look up, and then I'll engage with the chat. Here, I've just had to have a lot of content to just kind of present, so it's just it's a different experience, and I really enjoy it, and I mean, hopefully my throat will get used to it, but it's just kind of one of those things that I'm glad I thought to have some water on hand. So, all right. Hail to the Geeks asks, when you eat a Neapolitan ice cream sandwich, which end do you start with? I don't know if I've had one, actually. I really don't know if I've had. I mean, I've had Neapolitan ice cream. I've had ice cream sandwiches. But I don't think I've ever had the Neapolitan ice cream sandwich. Now, how is it segmented? Is like the strawberry at one end and the chocolate on another and the vanilla in the middle, or is it like in stripes that run up the length of the sandwich? What what like how does it work? Because I don't think I've ever had one. I really don't know if I've ever had a Neapolitan ice cream sandwich. So I don't know what how do you do it? Hail to the geeks. Like what what's your method for eating a Neapolitan ice cream sandwich? I think if I had access to one and I was like, I'm going to eat this, assuming that it's not like striped running the length of it, where I think you end up eating all three whenever you take a bite. I would probably start with strawberry and then work my way to whatever the next one is. So, all right, and so you go chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. So you do it the opposite way that I do. So, but that's okay. Chocolate ice cream is really good. I'll tell you. I started doing this about a week ago. I brought home some chocolate ice cream, and I've been making shakes with it. Like I would go and get a big tub of chocolate ice cream, and then I get like a half gallon of whole milk. And you don't really need that much. You don't need much milk to make a shake with. And so you pour a little bit of it in, and then you put the ice cream in the blender with it and blend it all up. Oh my god, it's delicious. Like I've always liked shakes, but there is something special about making your own and then drinking it. So, but yeah, it was. It's a thing that I've started doing with ice cream that I'm really kind of happy that I've started doing, because I'm a big kid in a lot of ways, and a shake is, a lot of people think of shakes as like like a kid's drink. It's basically dessert through a straw. And so I just kind of am like, I've had a stressful week. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to make myself a chocolate shake. And to be able to do that, oh, God, I love it. So, all right. Anyone else have a question for me? Anything you want to ask? Hail to the Geeks. That was a gret question. And thank you for it. I really appreciate it. Anything else? Any reference questions? Any personal questions? Um, Anything you want to ask is good. It's the set. Yes, it is. It is the satisfaction that you made it. You're absolutely right. Tastes like success. That's all I can say. Um, I don't believe this person is here tonight, but I do want to go ahead and give a shout out to one of my subscribers. Read Alada is not only a subscriber to the channel and someone who makes it to many of my live streams. Read Alada is also one of my coworkers and someone I'm very happy to call a friend. She's very smart, she's very resourceful, and she is just one of those characters that I am just glad is in the story of my life. And if she were here tonight, I would actually ask and see if she wanted to be made a moderator of the channel, because that's something I've been meaning to do for quite some time. But I don't see her. I haven't seen her lately. So, right. Well, if no one else has any questions, that is a-okay. We got one, so thank you to Hail to the Geeks. I really appreciate it. I think if that is it, we're going to go ahead and just call the show. So I hope you enjoyed this show. I'm going to be doing them again, just weekly. The next one will be Saturday night at 8:30. And if you did like it, and you can and haven't already, go ahead and thwip on the like button for the stream. It really shows me that you enjoyed this and that you would like to see more content. And also, if you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and do so. That way you'll know whenever I go live, you'll know whenever I upload new content, and hopefully you like it enough that you would like to see more. If you have anything else to say, just go ahead and drop it in the comments. And I just want to go ahead and thank everyone who showed up tonight. This has been a lot of fun. Hopefully, I know the show will get better as I continue working on it. So hopefully you guys will come with me, continue to come with me on this journey. And hopefully, I will see you guys next Saturday. This is Spidey Librarian. And until my next stream or upload, I'm going to wish you guys a good rest of the evening. Bye. All right, and we are done. Have a good evening, and take care, fellas. This was fun, and I'm glad you guys all stopped by. So take care, have a good night, and I'll see you later.